Ciao ragazzi, welcome to, I think it's, do we call it a new season of Inter Worldwide?
Yeah, this is
Because,
season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5. It's
yeah,
like Simpsons, it never stops. It keeps going and going.
yeah, it just never stops. We keep rolling. We're joined here by Christian. How are you, mate?
Tired.
Tired. Yeah, it gets like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, I just had a game earlier and I got kicked in the Achilles, so it's kind of thumping like this.
Spinazzola, huh? But yeah, so look, Anthony will be joining us soon. We do have some fair bit of content to get through. So let's get straight into it. I think we'll start and we'll finish with we'll get the international stuff out of the way pretty quickly. So Lautaro, Barella, and Bastoni have won the Scudetto and champions. They're champions for their national team in their respective competitions. So I know you followed the Copa America pretty much from start to finish because I saw you all over Facebook. I saw your streams with Anthony. But what does it mean for the players, Barella, Bastoni, Martinez, winning with their national team as well as winning with Inter? Do they bring that form to Inter? Does it change their role within the club? Like, what's it do for the players?
I mean, honestly, I think it's a dope thing. Like having players that win league titles and then go and win with the national team, it kind of helps rebuild that mentality. You know, like it really helps mold a winner's mentality and starts getting them to be, a lot more aggressive and a lot more strong and vocal in the locker room, letting them know, like, yo, this is what we do now. Like, there's no more going to be accepting just mediocrity. So I think it's a pretty good thing.
Yeah, so it sort of reminds me of the hunger that Perisic brought when he returned from loan with Bayern, and you can also see what it does for the players, and it's just phenomenal. And I think that I don't know. It could be that kick in the guts that Inter needed. Lukaku was phenomenal for us, but we can't just rely on the one man. And I think that with Inzaghi coming to the club, these players bringing home the trophy, they're just going to be hungry for more. But let's move on to some big news that's happened recently. So Inter have released former Sporting Lisbon player João Mario after a terrible stint at the club. They released him for free, and he is free to join whatever club, and he has chosen Benfica. The reason as to why Inter released him for free was because if Inter sold him to a Portuguese club, they'd have to pay somewhere in the ballpark of around 30 million euros. So by releasing him for free and him doing his own thing, Inter sort of wiped their hands clean. Sporting Lisbon's now come out saying they're lawyering up, they're taking this to court. They're they're trying to push because ultimately this player did end up at a rival club. Inter's then come out and said all allegations that Sporting's throwing at us are basically bullshit, and essentially there's no basis for it. So I don't know. What do you think? This saga, it's been going on since day one with this player. Since he's come to the club, Mario's brought really nothing to it except drama. So will we hear the end of this pretty soon, or is this going to just carry on?
So I think this is actually going to drag out in the courts. I mean, at the end of the day, Sporting does have a point that it seems like this was just a ploy to get rid of him. They obviously didn't want to buy him back. And Inter obviously weren't going to stay stuck with the player that they don't want and that he doesn't want to be, at the club. So they came to a mutual agreement to terminate the contract and for him to go to Benfica. Now, the repercussions of that is pretty much like prove it. Prove that we didn't know he was going to sign there. We just wanted to get rid of the player at the end of the day. We saved money getting rid of those wages. So it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be like, all right, Sporting, prove it. What can you prove?
Yeah, look, I think at the end of the day, Inter would have done their due diligence, and Inter would have made sure they're there for ground. And like you said, if Inter have to prove it, well, the guy's been to almost every club in Europe other than Inter since he's joined Inter, and it's clear that he's not a fit, but a fit for the club. But at the same time, if Sporting aren't successful, Inter can counter suit. Inter can counter suit for defamation and this bullshit dragging your name through the dirt, because at the end of the day, is it's one of those things. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Anthony, you've just joined us, the media circus that is CIAO MARIO.
Thank you, Bruno. Thanks, Christian, my boys, for holding that down for me while I clock off from the lockdown o'clock in Sydney. Sporting don't have no case, G. This is what happens when a mid-table muscle club tries to go toe-to-toe with a bigger club. Next time, don't haggle over 1 million. We were very clear. We need to make a very certain amount to balance the books. You can't lowball us by 900,000. You can't even lowball us by 200,000, because that figure is stuck, whatever it was, at 6.5 or 7 million. We needed that exact amount. Stop lowballing us, guys, or else Beppe Marotta will find a loophole out of this. And that's exactly what we've done. We've also saved 6 million on paying his, his asshole of an agent as well. I'm just happy it's over, man. I know he's already been photographed holding up the Benfica jersey. These days, that's still only a 99.99% sure that it's done and dusted. But we have released an official statement on our website that the contract has been resided. So as long as Sporting Lisbon, honestly, fair play to Sporting Lisbon if they've got the balls to take us to court. I don't think they've got the muscle or the financial resources to go toe-to-toe with us on the pitch, off the pitch. Just cut your losses and be done with it, boys. That's my opinion on it.
So I just think it's one of those things where they're just trying to play their cards right and see what they can get out of it. At the end of the day, they have a chance of making 30 million if they find a lawyer to agree with them, or not a lawyer, a judge to agree in their case and in their suit. So it's one of those things. It's like, screw it. Let's try and get to 30 mil. If we get it, cool. If we don't, fair play. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I just think in the world we're living in at the moment, Inter of all clubs would have been on top of it. Well before anything was announced or even speculated in the press. I just think it's a last-ditch effort, for Sporting to turn around and hoping that Inter turn around and be like, here's 10 million, now piss off.
Yeah.
They're just trying to see if they can get something. And at the end of the day, he won the title with their Sporting just recently. For them to not want to re-sign him by $1 million, it sounds petty. It sounds absolutely petty, and I think they got now the fans to deal with, and that's why where the pressure is coming from. It's like, you've seriously for $1 million, you've let one of our rivals, one of our players, join our closest rival.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, fair enough, man. Look, to me personally, I think that we'll just absolutely get it done. I think it'll be done before even the next couple of days when we wake up. There'll be no lawsuit and no nothing, and we can finally move on to this and focus on more important things. Bruno, I'm going to take over if that's all right, man. We've got a lot to talk about, and I just want to start on something really positive. Our boys bossed it from continent to continent, left side, right side, wherever it was, man. Lautaro in the Copa America. I spoke about this with Christian when we teed up just after the final. I'm really proud of him, Bruno. I'm really proud of El Toro. His calmness and composure for such a heavy national team shirt at that age, that's really, really good, man. That's typical Argentina blood, Batistuta, Milito shit in your veins. And he's one of us, uno di noi. And El Toro, I hope he's sticking around, man. I'll go to Christian for that part of the question, but El Toro's sticking around, right? Because if we're going up next season with Lula up top, Bruno, I'm still confident, bro.
Oh, look, 100%. I think we discussed it yesterday with Ricardo, right? This Argentina is very similar to this Italy, and if they've found their groove, something's got to give, And if they've found their groove, Ricardo called it yesterday, 18 months out from the competition. He said an Italy-Argentina final. And we've seen what a national title can do for a team in sense of they're formidably in their respective competitions. But I can't personally see Lautaro going anywhere. I think it was Beppe or Inzaghi. One of them came out and said, we're not losing any more big players.
Yeah.
Hakimi was it. But I don't know. Is there a figure that can persuade Inter to sell?
100% there is. 100% there still is. And it might be the tournament that pushed that figure up a little bit.
We spoke about this before you jumped on. The mentality that these players, after winning a national title, will bring to the team, it's borderline priceless. And my direct comparison was, look at what Perisic brought from Bayern Munich after winning the treble and jumping in with Inter. You know, there was a different hunger. Can you put a price on that hunger? I don't know. What do you think, Mario? Christian. I'm reading Mario's comment. Yeah, I'm reading Mario's comment.
I miss you, Mario. Nah, dude, like, honestly, I say 140 mil, you can take them because you can always buy another Lautaro and probably a suitable replacement for Hakimi without not being able to afford it. So, I mean, you give 140 mil, go ahead, take them. I ain't even mad, but in today's climate, ain't nobody paying that. Nobody has that type of money.
Yeah, for sure. Mo, welcome along to the live stream, bro. Thank you for joining us. Mo is in the house.
How are you guys? How's everyone doing?
Very good. Very good. Sleepy, tired, all good, all good. Coming at you, Mo, episode 87. Thanks for joining us for the Inter Worldwide podcast. Give us maybe 60 seconds on your opinion of CIAO Mario, as we're all saying. CIAO Mario exiting the club finally. Do you think Sporting Lisbon have a case, or do you think they're just having a little bit of a whinge?
If they are suing, someone told them they have a case. They're not. It's as simple as, you know, like if you go to a lawyer and then you tell him your case and then he tells you, yes, we'll sue, that means he's convinced that he can get something out of you, that's what I think. I think they might have a case. I don't know. Logically, they don't. But what actually happened is that Inter bent the rule to avoid paying 30 million to sell him to Benfica because the player is stubborn and he doesn't want to go anywhere else but Portugal because he's shit.
Before we move on, I've just got this image in my head of Sporting going to their local lawyer, Lionel Hutz, and him just telling him from The Simpsons, for anyone who doesn't know that reference, and him just saying, yeah, there's a case, even though the guy's got no clue. That's how I see it. But
one of my favorite TV
characters.
One of my favorite TV characters, man, honestly. Another couple of players, Barella Bastoni, bag an international trophy. I'll go to Mo. I'll go to Christian first and then Mo. What do you reckon this is all about, Christian, in terms of Barella and Bastoni? You think they level up as well mentally this season for Inter?
Well, honestly, I think Barella's mentality has always been top since the beginning of last year. Actually, since he got under Conte, I think Conte has really revolutionized his whole mentality and his whole winning instinct. Like, he's that player that's going to fight for every single ball and try to get everything done. So, I mean, there's not so much he could really do. Bastoni, same thing. Like, this kid's just got it. You know, these dudes are killers out there. I think Toto was the one that needed it the most.
Yeah, I reckon he did too. But the thing is, man, like, if there is going to be a Spanish club that comes knocking, I don't see any of them that can afford him. So I reckon we're going into him next season. And before we move on, I'll get Mo's opinion on that as well. You think Lautaro's staying? And how do you think the partnership between him and Lukaku expands next season? Are you confident they can score as many goals and set each other up again?
I would rather us selling Lautaro for 100 billion than getting somebody else.
Really? Elaborate a little bit.
It's watching Argentina. I don't think Lautaro. I watched Kun Agüero when he was young, back in the days, and Agüero was way more lethal and way more like the movement, the IQ of the football was actually more. I watched him at a younger age, and I think Lautaro, as great as we think he is, Inter is not the kind of club that takes you to the next level, especially with a coach like Inzaghi. No disrespect, Inzaghi might be tactically better than a lot of people, but he's not. I don't think he's the guy that will take Lautaro to the next level. And I think if we get an offer for 100 million in this market, 100 million is a lot of money. Is a lot of money that you can get. You can get big strikers with 100 million in this market because clubs are in debt and they need money. And if you go with 100 million to a club like Inter, they will sell. And if also you go to somebody else with 100 million, you might get a striker. Who's on the market? I don't know. But I'm convinced that Lautaro is not Diego Milito. He's not Aguero. He's not this Crespo. He's not these guys. Maybe he will prove me wrong, but for now, 100 million is a lot of money.
100%, and it would solve some problem.
Does Inzaghi have the ability to take anyone to the next level? Does he have that in his repertoire as a manager? You look at Milito, you look at these players you're dropping. They're under different names like Mourinho. He made Inzaghi. I think Lautaro fits perfectly for Inzaghi. You bring the likes of now apparently Griezmann's on the market. Harry Kane's apparently on the market. Well, he said he's on the market. But you bring those names into the squad. Well, can Inzaghi control them? I think Inzaghi's got a team now that he can actually manage. That's just my opinion.
So what I want to do now, and welcome to our friend Mario Galliano, who's going to join us for the remainder of this podcast now that he's sitting upright and everything like that. What's going on, G?
What's up?
It's good. Welcome home. Welcome to Inter Worldwide. It's now going to be more of an opinionated podcast, definitely. So we'll go around the table for all the topics from now on in, so that we make sure everyone gets their say fairly. Christian Rivas, anything that you want to elaborate on what Bruno just discussed before I move on to our next topics, because I've got a fair few to get on.
You're muted.
About 100 million.
Sorry. Go on. Say that again.
I completely disagree with everything Mo said about 100 million. I'm going only 120 or more. You're not going to lowball yourself.
Who's going to pay that much, man? Who's going to pay 100? Who's going to pay 80?
Look at our lineup. All right, look at our roster right now. Why would you get rid of him? Who are you going to get? You're not going to get Griezmann, because Griezmann's going to demand at least 100. So whatever money you get from that, you're not really getting anything. Secondly, you're not going to get Harry Kane. Harry Kane's going to go for at least 100 million pounds. So you're looking at like over 120 million euros. So who are you going to get? If you can't sit there and give me a suitable replacement, and don't sit there and give me a Raspadori, because Raspadori is not on the same level as Toro. So if you can't get me a suitable replacement, don't even talk to me about it.
So who is a good replacement?
We don't need him to be Kun Agüero. We don't need him to be Diego Milito. We need him to be Lautaro Martinez.
Do you know who's a good replacement, Christian? And I'm going to give you a name. And it might seem strange, but he fits the two strikers really well. Roberto Firmino. He is going to be the casting support for Lukaku. Think about it in the way that Inter plays and Inzaghi plays.
Give me his numbers.
You just threw a curveball.
Give me his numbers.
Came out of nowhere.
His numbers last year were terrible, but still, the guy the season before, the season before, he's gonna be cheaper. He's gonna be cheaper. He's gonna be way cheaper.
How does he leave Liverpool though?
I haven't seen one rumor linking him though.
He's not. I'm just saying. Christian is asking me. I'm not the scout for Inter, right? But I'm just saying that if 100 million, I promise you, man. If 100 million is on the table, but I'm with Anthony here, nobody's gonna pay 100 and nobody's gonna pay 80.
It's not 100 million though, because we still have to cover our losses. We still have like 40 million that we have to cover. No,
we cover most of it. We got like 20 million we got to cover.
Okay.
For me, man, in this climate, if you're going to replace him, you bring in the best possible replacement from the same league. And for me, that is Luis Muriel. You go and you get Luis Muriel and you bring him into this league.
The difference is, I think what Christian...
And he might only cost like 1/5 of the price that you get for Lautaro, though.
Absolutely. It's a very good...
When you look at it, though, age-wise, it doesn't make sense. You're going from a 22-year-old up-and-coming that's actually banging goals and doing what he does to now getting a 30-year-old something and hoping it works.
Yeah.
If our books were different, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. We'd be looking at how many years we can sign him for an extension anyway. Welcome, Mario Galliano. We move on to the next topic, and you get first say on this one. Wait, go on, finish up.
I wanted one thing on Inzaghi and Lautaro. I actually think it's a fit, because look at how he made Correa and Immobile work. It wasn't horrible, right? It was effective. So, there's an echo somewhere.
Fair enough.
I think, and real quick, I think that Lautaro will have a little more freedom that he can express how he plays, which under Conte it's impossible to do. I've said this so many times about players like him, Perisic, Eriksson, all these guys that they have the flair, that they need the confidence and the freedom to do this kind of stuff. Once they get that, the goals and the form just comes naturally. Look at Lautaro for Argentina.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. Bro and boys, Mario, you're the first one that's going to talk about this. Our brand new home kit was released today. And I got to say, without no ugly looking sponsor in the middle of it, that's one of the best looking home kits I've seen in a long time. As soon as this video is finished, before he goes to bed, I'm going to pick Christian Rubas's brain about how to go about ordering this properly. But I dare say this is a win for all of us. Mario, you're going to go first. What are your thoughts on the home kit, man? Do you like what you see? I'm
not getting it.
What? You get some of the worst kits that have ever been released, and you're telling me you're not going to get this?
I don't like this. I don't know what is going on with this. This is for a home kit. I don't know about that. For like a 4th, 5th kit, sure, whatever. Maybe I'll mess with it, but as a home kit, I don't like it. I think that it looks better after seeing it on Barella, but at the same time, I feel like they just kind of like I don't even know what they did here.
Is it just that it's not the nettle is not prominent enough? There's no black.
The color scheme's off. There's like no brand of ink that of black and blue. The logo I still don't like. It looks like they kind of just went to Photoshop and just like airbrushed it poorly with like 40% transparency, and like the opacity is all screwed up, and I don't think I think it's, for me, I don't like it. And I like some stupid crazy nonsense, but this I don't like.
I know you do. All right, fair enough. Thanks. Christian Rivas, someone who's very, very well collected with his jerseys, who will usually advocate for some of the most outrageous ones. What are your honest thoughts on the home kit next season? And you got any ideas of what's going on the back yet?
I think we agreed last season to get Campione 19. So that if that's the agreement, we're going to get that, and we're going to continue with it. Like I told everybody else in the chat, if you want to hop in, let it be an interworldwide thing. Let's do it. Let's get it done. As far as Mario's saying, I mean, I get what he's saying to me. I hope I can buy it like this, and I don't got to get the socios on the front, because the mock drafts that were coming up look god awful.
Socios?
God awful.
Christian, what if it was Sucios instead of Socios?
If it was Sucios, I mean, I'll wear it because I'm a dirty little whore, but okay.
Yo, honestly, it looks good. I have to get it. I hated the last 2 home jerseys, and I never skip on the home jerseys, but the last 2 home jerseys for me were absolutely horrendous in every way, shape, or form. Mo, we'll go over to you next, man. Your thoughts on the home jersey? Are you going to buy it? I really like the jersey on the right-hand side of your shoulder, man. If you're buying that, you should be buying this.
I'm gonna buy both, but I do not think this represents black and blue anymore. This is just blue. It's just dark blue for me. And I've always said that Inter is just a black and blue team. And I like that they kind of invented something new, that we have never seen something like this, yes, but I think this, as Mario said, can be the 3rd kit or something like 4th kit. Some kind of like anniversary thing, like not your.
A little bit.
I remember there was a similar reaction in the 15-16 kit, the one that I'll always remember for Shaqiri, Osvaldo, Podolski. It was like majority black, and everybody came out in uproar, and they're like, "Where's the blue? Where's the blue?" I don't know, man. Bruno, over to you. What do you think about the home kit, man? Anything else? Anything else you want to add?
Look, I think I'm in love with it. And just to answer your question, Mario, you can buy it exactly like this from the Inter store with no brand on the front, because that was released to celebrate the back of the shirt sponsor, Lenovo. So you can grab it like that with your name and number. But I'm in love with it. I absolutely love it, because I feel they're doing something different. And if you're releasing black and blue, black and blue, black and blue, you can afford to skip out on a couple of seasons. In an economic time, the way it is, where the hype is all around Inter at the moment, they can afford to make something like this, which is visually appealing. I've never had my wife say it to me before, but she goes, I want that jersey. So that says something right there, but they're going to make sales. We're going to make money. But in saying that, if they would have released this last year, I would have still bought it. The jersey you're referring to that's on Mo's right-hand side there, I thought it was hideous to begin with until I saw the players wear it. And it was something that became more appealing. I thought this was something that was more of a concept fan art, and I've seen something very similar for the last couple of years. Now, when it came to fruition, this was something that really, really hit me really in the feels, and it's something I want to get. I want to get my kids. I want to get my daughter her first Inter jersey. I want to get my son another one. You know, it's something that I really want. And yeah, Interista gold kit, you know, the gold numbers would hit it perfectly, especially with the gold Inter Milan and the gold Nike badge. But you just got to remember as well, this is something that, you know, that they got to do something. And this is the best way of doing it. I don't know if you have seen the apparent, yes, my man, you could say it there. But
is that supposed to be the home kit for next season? Christian Rivas holding up his own brand into shirt.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know if you have seen they're still technically rumored, but if you've seen the rumored away kit, the white one with the dragon/snake, you know, that one there isn't visually appealing. To me, I don't like it. But at the same time, no, it's different to that, Mo. It's much more different.
That one is
like
that one.
Yeah, I don't know, but then I really like the change. I really like the change. I think it's something they need to do, especially when you're relaunching the brand altogether. You know, they're trying to pick up, they're trying to make Inter a marketable brand to the rest of the world. We saw that with the emblem. You know, I couldn't stand it to begin with, but it started to grow and grow and grow on me. And the same goes for the kit designs. You know, if you want to talk terrible kits, I don't know if anyone's seen United's next season kits. You know, everyone's going with this new crypto trend, and that there looks like a 6-year-old drew it up. But that there, look, I don't know, boys. What do you think of the leaked away kit? Because leaked, I don't know. It doesn't appeal to me. But others, you know, King Darian's already said he loves it. So what do you, Mario, is that better for you?
No, this is both of them suck. I don't like them. If I'm gonna watch this week in and week out, it's like a ultimate team like concept kit that, you know, people screw around with. They get for free in a pack or they whatever. I think they could have done a lot better with the serpent on it. It's just like weird and there's no structure to it. I think you know, who created it? Rupert? I don't like him because Ben doesn't like him. So I'm going to say whatever he makes sucks.
Well, to be honest, man, I don't see the head of the snake, and it's been bothering me since day one. And like, I don't see. That's what I'd agree with when it comes to Mario. I don't see the structure in the snake. I'm going to stop there because I just want to hear everyone's opinion more than mine. Christian, you next, Mo last.
It could be an octopus.
It does look like tentacles. Christian.
I mean, I like it. I think it's dope.
I like it too.
I look at it streetwear, bro. Like, when all my boys literally today when we were at the field before a game, they're all like, yo, like the new Inter jerseys are fire. Like, they're better than the Barca jerseys, better than the Chelsea jerseys, better than the Madrid jerseys. When they're saying it's the best kit released, I'm looking at it not as a fan, but as like a businessman. I'm like, all right, it makes sense. Like, that's legitimate streetwear. Like, we started going towards that a couple years ago, where we're not just trying to be our fans only. We're trying to be marketable on a spectrum. How else are you going to get recognized in the streets? You're going to have some dudes that don't even know who the team is wearing it, and that's where you're getting an extra source of income.
Michael, my point to you, right, just before Mo takes off, you got to remember one of our most iconic jerseys wasn't black and blue. It was the one that we had as our third kit last season, the grey and black.
The
hoops. So this could be something that changes the game. But off to you, Mo.
I like this one because I always like white jerseys for Inter, especially white and blue. I think the head of the snake is not apparent because some people don't like snakes and they wouldn't like a head of a snake. Like my wife, she hates snakes, and if she sees I think it's one of the reasons people just don't like snakes. Some people get phobia from snakes, and
I don't like snakes.
Could be right.
And I like it's the body of the snake. The head is not great, and actually, I think even in the commercial or whatever video they did, the end of the video is the body of the snake, not the head.
Yeah, you could be onto something here, something I didn't even think of. There you go.
It's all marketing. That's all it is. It's all marketing. Like, you're trying to market and brand yourself to something bigger than just Inter fans. Like, you don't have to like it. It's like the Sprite jersey. Nobody else liked it. A lot of people I know out here bought it because it looked dope. I have it with CIAO Mario's name on it.
Nice. You should have sold at the same time I sold mine with Eva Benego on the back, man. We're moving on now.
Jersey.
I've never seen Inter like this, to be honest. I've never seen my club like this. I've never seen Inter do all this marketing and all these videos and all the new like they're everywhere, man. I talk to people here in the States, in Houston, and they never watch Serie A, but they just heard about Inter because of the videos that they see on Facebook and they see on Instagram and they see everywhere, and people are sharing all the stuff. And of course, Lautaro winning Copa America made all the difference here.
Yeah, fair enough. Boys resumed business at Appianno in the last 48 hours. Players have come, players have gone, mostly players who have not been on international duty. I'm happy to see them training again. We look a little old when we train without the likes of Lautaro, Barella, Bastoni, Lukaku. It's a slugfest up in there. But, the team are back in business. I like the training uniform. I like seeing Inzaghi dish out some instructions. I'm just overall excited. I'm overall excited about seeing them go to work. Hakan Çalhanoğlu had his first training session there as well, which means it's time for Mario Galliano to step in and speak. President of Ericsson FC, is it by default that you carry that sort of presidency over to Hakan FC this season, bro?
I'm starting to get on the train. I mean, I think he's a good player. Misguided is the problem. He got all the talent in the world. You can see he's a set piece specialist also, which is very important, which we always seem to lack until we got Ericsson. And Ericsson came, scored a free kick. It was a game changer. Now Hakan comes with those big ass thighs. Those things are rocks. And, he can play. All we need to do is give him that confidence. Whereas Milan, he was excellent for the beginning of the year, and then whatever happened just fell off. And I think Inzaghi can get the most out of his midfielders like he did at Lazio. He got a lot out of everybody on that team. I'm not gonna lie. So if he can continue his work at Inter, because he has a lot more talent in every area. Yeah, basically every area of the game, from forwards to the goalie. So I don't see why he can't take what Conte did and run with it, and then implement Çalhanoğlu in an effective way, like he did with Luis Alberto, or like I said, I'll always throw in Correa because I think he's a fantastic player that he sort of found himself under Mancini. So those are the kind of players that I expect Çalhanoğlu to sort of mirror. Not so much Milinkovic-Savic, even though he's a beast. I think they're completely different types of players, but I think it looks good.
Fair enough. Going over to you next, Mo. Boys are training again. Boys are looking fresh. Anything different that you want to expect out of this group training? Are you excited to see DiMarco back there? You see Alexander Kolarov almost barking instructions and being basically Handanovic's right-hand man. Basically, we all know that Kolarov's biggest part for Inter Scudetto win was in the dressing room. You've heard more than enough players say it as well. You happy to have him back at 1.5 million? Have I asked you too many questions? Off you go, brother Mo.
I don't care about Kolarov. He's never going to play. He's not going to play. I don't care about him. All I care about now is Perisic going to the right side and DeMarco taking the left side. That's what I'm thinking that's going to happen if we don't sign anyone, by the way. Because there's no other
Perisic is going to start on the right-hand side over Darmian if we don't sign anyone else?
There's no other option. I don't think Darmian is a 38-game guy. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think the way Inzaghi plays with the wing backs, they have to be quick, fast on the counter. I think he would play Perisic and DeMarco. That's what I think. If we don't sign anybody else, I wouldn't play Darmian. Like Darmian is he's great with the system of Conte, but individually, I don't think he's the greatest player. But to see that players actually training and to see Inzaghi starting early, because this is a privilege that they did not have last year because of COVID and the season ending late. We should see Inzaghi's like fingerprints on the squad in the end of August when the season starts in the third week of August.
Fair enough. I'm going to go to Christian Rivas next. Perisic on the right, something that I wouldn't be used to, something I'm not too sure I'd even entertain straight away. I do think that with the money that we've got left to invest, we are going to use it on that right-hand side. I think Inzaghi has decided, hey, in a doom and gloom situation, having Perisic and DeMarco on the left actually isn't the worst situation in the world. I'd rather put a little bit of money into that right-hand side. It looks like it could be Hector Bellerin. We might as well entertain the conversation in this podcast. Christian, your thoughts?
Two things. If you're gonna do me a favor, go to Footy Headlines and look up Inter's pre-match football shirt. Bring it into the whole conversation about kits, because it's actually pretty fire talking about snakes. Secondly, there's actually a snake head in it in the center. Okay, now thirdly to the conversation, I personally think Hector Bellerin can get his career started again at Inter. It's not a far off thing. Like Arsenal's just a rotting cesspool right now. Perfect player to come, perfect situation. You get him on the drop, you get him on the loan with an option. If he does bad, you just send him back. If he does good, you keep him, you retain him. I think the kid has a lot to offer still. I wouldn't completely count him out. I wouldn't put Perisic on the right. I would put D'Ambrosio on the right. Worst case scenario, I'm not gonna sit there and just put somebody there that plays on the left. If it's not Darmian, it's got to be D'Ambrosio. They're here for a reason. Worst case scenario, you go in with D'Ambrosio, which isn't a bad thing at all.
Do you think Arsenal will agree to that dream scenario? Because a dry loan with an option is like a bulletproof deal, man.
So the only reason I see them doing it is because the player wants to get out. At that point, he wants out of that situation. It's not doing Arsenal any good. They're trying to move on from that whole squad from a couple years ago that's just been really, really poor, and they're trying to revamp themselves. So they know that they're not going to get much money for him because there's nobody interested in it. Nobody's there. Nobody cares for it. Right now, it's one of those things that you got to get who you can. And if nobody's showing any interest, the player doesn't want to be there, and you have a potential of him going on loan, say he does good and we can't afford him, then you just open the whole market for other teams to jump in. So it's one of those things where you look at it from a financial standpoint and you're just like, you know what? If you could take his wages, cool, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, nice one. I'm going to go over to Bruno next, but what we're going to do is we're going to kind of lean into the next topic so that we're not dragging on too much. Loanees, bro, we sent a couple of players out on loan. Esposito is bound to get some more minutes at his new destination. You can unmute yourself whenever you're ready, Bruno. I think he's going off to Basel in the Swiss League, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe we've also purchased back, but also loaned out Zinho van Tausen. I don't know if I pronounced that last name correctly, but he's moving off as well back on loan. I think I forgot where he's going back on loan. It could be Standard Liège. Can someone just correct me on that? I don't want to say the wrong club. But yeah, and I think also Pirola is going out on loan to Monza. Bruno, are you excited about any of our loanees getting some new minutes out where they're going? Zinho has had he's had a track record of some niggling knee injuries and some muscular problems as well. So I'm not too sure. Maybe we're just hoping for something by renewing his contract and loaning him out again. But either way, Sebastiano Esposito bound to get some minutes at Basel next season, even though I don't think they qualified for the Champions League. As you're talking, I'll fact check that.
He's going to Genoa.
Sorry?
He's going to Genoa.
He's going to Genoa. He's going to Genoa.
Okay, so just
Let me
quickly
check that, right.
on the Perisic Bellerin drama. My 2 cents. It's going to be quick. Perisic, keep him where he is. He works. Don't change something that's not broken. D'Ambrosio, Damian, 2 of the best players Inter's had in regards to clutch situations. Keep them there. All right, they might not be 38-game players, but at the same time, there's 2 of them. So we can sort that out. Moving on to the loans. I really like what Inter did with the Esposito deal. Right? We saw under his first year of Conte, Esposito get some minutes here and there. He scored his first goal. He was guided well by Lukaku. But the issue is, Conte said it, and we said it. When we let go of Tonali, Kumbula and stuff, I even said it. He's building a team to win this Scudetto now. He doesn't give a shit about Inter's future. And that meant that Esposito had to go. And it personally broke my heart a little bit. And when you didn't see him succeed at his first club, I think it was Pescara, and then he moved to Pisa and didn't succeed there. He needs to start getting more minutes. And Marotta has done such a good job with the way he structured the Esposito deal. It's a loan with obligation to buy, but then Inter have a buyback clause in it as well. It's something we didn't do with Zaniolo. It's something we didn't do with Coutinho. It's something that we're finally learning from our mistakes. We can't afford to keep this kid on the team and still, compete at a top level. I would have said keep him, chuck him in for Coppa Italia. But now with the revamped structure of the Coppa Italia, we can't afford to give these kids a run because, you've eliminated half the competition. So I'd say, yeah, definitely get him out. And it's also good to have these players out on loan because we can always recall if an injury or COVID crisis does hit the team. As much it might not look good, we could still do that side of things as well. But Esposito was a great young prospect. I just think, we need to cut your losses sometimes. And all right, it's not a risk we can afford to take. Yeah, I would have seen him there instead of Pinamonti as vice Lukaku, but at the same time, Pinamonti had some good experience behind him. Esposito came on when we were winning 3-4-0 and 5 minutes to go. That's my opinions on those. I'm not sure if any of you boys have anything else to add there.
I'm going to go over to Mario and Christian to this and then piggyback on another question to give them some more time. Any thoughts on our Loanees going out? Any comments on them? And after that, Inter's midfield, we're going to have to sell 1 or 2 of them in order to, if we're going to generate funds to bring in anybody else. I'm not too sure we are going to bring in another midfielder after getting Hakan, but Vidal, Vecino, Gagliardini. After speaking about our Loanees, Christian Rivas, anybody from the midfield that you see departing? You're muted, G.
I'm not. You muted me. Don't look at that. I don't touch that stuff. That's too sophisticated for me. I would say Vecino. I remember Inzaghi wanted Gagliardini at Lazio last season, but we didn't get rid of him. So why would he get rid of a player that he wanted? So for me, I see Vecino leaving. I don't think they get rid of Sensi. I don't think they get rid of anybody else. I personally love the Çalhanoğlu signing. That's just me. I personally love the guy. I remember before I said if I couldn't get Romagnoli, I'd get Çalhanoğlu from Milan, and that's about it.
Yeah, fair enough. Mario, same question, your side?
Just what Bruno said is pretty much spot on. They're getting smart with the loans, options to buys, and all that. Buybacks, I mean. I really do hope Zinho can stay healthy. He's had 2 ACL surgeries. Poor guy just can't keep it healthy. Yeah. He's like Zaniolo. Those knees just go, and you hate to see it. But Esposito, I really hope he gets time to play, and he needs to prove it. He needs to score 15, 20 goals in the Swiss league. If he's not doing that buyback clause is basically useless at that point because if he can't score in the Swiss league, what makes you think we could throw him in at the 80th minute to score a goal against a Juve, Milan, Lazio, Hellas, even like a lower team like a Benevento, for example? Like if you can't hack in a Swiss league, which those guys don't even come close to half the teams in Serie B, like what are we doing here? What do we develop? What do we have these players for? We can't develop a player for the first team. We can develop them to 17 years old, and then after that, it's foreign to them. They have no concept of the first team of the first team structure. It seems it's just been going on for so long now.
Yeah, fair enough. That's pretty much it from an Inter point of view, unless I've missed anything that you guys want to discuss. We'll come back around it for a sec, but I'm just going to go around to the boys and just ask, how did you end up celebrating and how did you end up feeling afterwards with the Azzurri accomplishment of winning Euro 2020, man? I know it's really late in the States, so we'll go over to the Northern Hemisphere first. Christian?
Wait, did you unmute me? All right.
Yeah.
I was at the bar jumping around, screaming, yelling, Campioni d'Europa, siamo noi, going nuts.
Were there any other Italian fans around you?
Yeah, no, I had a good amount. So originally we had united with the Roma Club DC, Juve Club DC, and Milan Club DC to do a party at a pub called Ireland's Four Courts. And we ended up actually overselling it. And, like I told you, my son's still in the whole NICU thing. So they were like, yo, we need you to show up at 12:45 for a game that starts at 3. I'm like, nah, I'm going to go spend time with my son. I'm not going to bother. Like, I'm letting you know now I'm not going to show up. So I just went to the bar where I usually go with my friends. And, like, about a good 20 of us were in there. It was a good amount of space that we were just watching the game, like, just our small group. There was other people in there, but we were definitely celebrating. And one of my boys was going for England just to spite me. So, I was running my mouth.
Of course, man. Of course. Mario, over in Brooklyn, right? Isn't that a pretty... No, I know you're in where, sorry?
I'm in Queens.
Queens, sorry, man. I don't even know
Big
how far.
difference.
Sorry, bro. Go on, but still a high Italian presence in Queens?
Yeah, there's a good amount over here. My dad was actually in Brooklyn, in Bensonhurst, with all his Guinea friends, and they were having the time of their life. They shut the block down. It was nuts. He was showing me videos of it. I was like, I don't want to be there. I was with my fiance and one of my friends. I kept it super low key. We just went to a local bar. It was a bunch of people. It was like a mixed England and Italy fans, but I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. And then when Donnarumma saved that last penalty, I didn't even know that we won, honestly. So everyone's celebrating. And I'm like, we still got to score. We still got to score. And then everyone just goes crazy. I'm like, oh.
It's weird because every other situation, if it's not your own team, you'd know it like the back of your hand, and then all of a sudden your own team's in a shootout and you forget how to count to 5. It's unbelievable.
Exactly. It's actually there's one more. We still have to score. They went first. I was like, the fuck
yeah. Mo, I saw your initial reaction as it actually happened, and I love seeing it when you drop those little videos in the group chat, man. But your reaction, bro, you're very happy with the Azzurri's win?
Yes, 2006 all over again, man. It's 2006 again. It's the same feeling. It's a last penalty. It's the same thing. Like, to be honest, it's just I've supported Italy before any other team because I was young. I wasn't even in my home country, and I just started supporting Italy in 1994, and that's it. And it's an unbelievable feeling when you see Italy win, to be honest. And I don't know how other people feel. I'm not Italian, but I support Italy more than anything in football. And I don't know if other fans feel the same if they're not Italian. Like, to me, you saw my reaction on the little video I sent. It's crazy. It's just, I still can't believe that Italy won.
Christian, you want to piggyback off that, being another brother who's not, born from the mainland Italy, but you've had such a profound love for that country's football your whole life.
Yo, so it's like my great grandmother is 100% Italian. She's from Florencia, Okay. But like to me, like that's all watered down. Like my Guatemalan and Salvadorian side obviously are the stronger genetics. So like I'm an Argentine fan as well and an Italy fan. Those are my two main teams after El Salvador, of course. You know, we suck. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm still going to support them. But, yo, like, I was happy when Argentina won, but I wasn't as happy as when Italy won. When Italy won, it was like balls crazy. You know, my cousins in Milan are texting me and they're going crazy. They're like, yo, we're going to go shut Duomo down. Like, we're on our way down there now. They're popping off fireworks. And it's like, yo, that joint is just so dope. You know, it was like, to me, I felt like it was if the U.S. had won the World Cup. Like, I just couldn't believe it because after getting let down with 2018, sealing New Zealand ties in 2010 and kind of, you know, knock us out of the out of the group stage with that, it was just a lot of heartbreak with Italy where it was like, damn, we finally got one. Like, yo, I can't even believe it. Like, dude, I was running all over the bar just like in my Italy jersey going nuts.
Yeah,
It was definitely dope. Like, for me, it was awesome. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't explain certain feelings like that.
Yeah, 100%. To finish it off, Bruno, still buzzing, man, still buzzing. I know how happy you were yesterday and the day before. I know how happy I was yesterday and the day before, man. It's been nice.
Look, I would have celebrated a whole lot different, but you know, we've been smacked straight back into another lockdown, and they've just extended it again. So can't go anywhere, can't do anything. Couldn't even celebrate with my father. Couldn't, you know. So me and the dog and the kids, they had no idea. My son was wondering while I was crying, but you know, at the end of the day, you got to do it the way you can. Yeah, Christian said it. He was celebrating in his Italy jersey. I lost my jersey at one point. I was running up and down the street with my flag, topless. You know, I had neighbors check, ring the doorbell to make sure everything was okay. I was at the top of my lungs, cheering, screaming, swearing, everything. But you know, it's quite lucky, like in the sense of us being Inter and Italy fans collectively. We've won everything football has to offer as Inter fans. And as Italian fans now. You know what? The feeling doesn't go away. And I said to my dad, and I remember the discussion I had with him in 2002 when Italy got knocked out of the World Cup by Korea. Apparently, Christian Vieri was offside, even though the ball was over his foot. No VAR back then. But I said to my dad, the one thing I really want in my lifetime is to watch Italy win a World Cup. And well, 4 years later, we were there. But the feeling doesn't go away. It's the feeling of elation that, I don't know. And I think I said it yesterday in our podcast with Ricardo. It's something where you enjoy it with the rest of the Italian football community. And like you said earlier, Christian, you had organized stuff with the Roma, the Milan, the Juventus clubs of DC. You know, you put all of that crap aside because, you know, that rivalry dies and you celebrate. Us here at Interworldwide, we're celebrating Bonucci and Chiellini. You know, they were amazing. But I don't know. I feel the unity. You know, I can talk to my family because we're not going to punch each other in the head. And it's just one of those feelings that, I don't know, you and I, Ant, we got quite emotional. And it's hard living on this side of the world where the community isn't that big. In the sense of, you know, you go to specific places. Melbourne was peaking. I saw many videos of Melbourne, flares going off and everything. But next time, 4 years from now, well, 2 years from now, well, 18 months, sorry, we'll be lifting that World Cup and hopefully lockdown's over by then and we can celebrate properly.
Fair enough. Last words around the table, Christian Rivas.
Yeah, so I remember that when you did the Euro video, I commented, I said, no, it's coming to Italy. And you had Belgium picked.
Yeah.
I never forget because I told you, I was like, we're going to win this one. Like, this tournament is for us, bro. And, you know, it's crazy, dude. Like, it actually happened, like, wild. I still can't believe it. You know, like, it's one of those things that you, like you said, when it comes to the national team, there's no Juve, there's no Milan, there's no Inter, there's just one. And that's the thing that people fail to realize. That's the only time you'll see like all Italian Serie A fans come under one. You know, and it's just one of those things that is dope. Now that it's over, not even 24 hours later, you see all the Juve fans running their mouths again like the season's about to start. Like, bro, can we just have this like unity for another 48 hours and then we can go back to killing each other's?
We didn't just unite the Serie A fans. We united the whole world because it was literally everybody against England.
Yeah, it takes a really special kind of shit to get the neutrals to root for Italy. England is that country, bro.
Bro, but the thing that mind blows me is this, is that after we won, it didn't become how great Italy won the game. It became how England lost the game. And it irritates me. It irritates me to death how you would sit there and see on all of social media, they're just talking about England losing the game, but they won't be talking about how Italy completely out-tactically smarted England.
Yeah.
I don't know.
England tried to play us tactically. Like, do you not know you're playing the kings of tactics? Like,
The kings of the dark arts, bro.
Are you serious?
Us.
They try to defend against us
For 88
We
minutes.
invented defending. We invented the counter. Like, what? Football's coming home, and bro, it's never even been there to come home. Like, what are you talking about? You've never won a Euro to even make that statement.
Football is coming home. It's just they don't have the right address. That's
Culture came home, bro.
No, football. American football came home.
That Gold Cup's going on right now. I need to check some results and see what's going on with that.
3-3 Panama Qatar, crazy game, bro. Crazy game.
Whoa, I might check it out now. Guys, we're going to have to wrap up this podcast before we just go on all day, every day. Thank you, Christian Rivas. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Mario Galliano. It's been awesome. Thank you very much, Mo, our brother from Texas. And thank you, Bruno, from right up the road. From all of us here at Inter Worldwide, Forza Azzurri, Forza Italia, Forza Inter. Plenty of content coming. Ciao.
Forza Inter Club DC, bro.